to my brother in the SHS, or even my sister who's in GSS and about to write a BC, what is AI?
AI is simply artificial intelligence. So ordinarily, human beings possess the intellect where we're able to reason, where we're able to think, where we're able to process information, and then make decisions. So artificial intelligence, I would say, is how you see a robot imitate or try to mimic certain human qualities, especially with the intellect. That's how come it's called artificial intelligence. So, for the ordinary person, if you've seen a robot move in movies, if you've read about robots, or even the national robotics competition, all those things, I'm sure students in SHS would have been exposed to that. Think of how you see the robots try to move something, try to collect something as artificial intelligence. Intelligence, sorry.
So, for example, the bus conductor of VIP, the popular VIP, or the state-run STC, where they set up a device that issues ticketing upon boarding of the bus, and also allows you to input your load luggage and also weight your luggage, etc. Can that be also classified as artificial intelligence?
Yes, to some extent. So it would depend on the nature it is built. So we can start from the ticketing end. One thing we should know is that AI feeds on information or data. So that ordinarily, if I go to STC and I want to travel to Kumasi, I have to go to the ticketing agent, say, I'm going to Kumasi, what's your name? Sometimes they take your date of birth and those things. So maybe instead of getting someone there, I go in, I key certain information, my name and all that, it's able to generate a ticket for me so that I don't now have to wait. So that anytime there isn't an agent, a physical agent, I'll have to wait for the agent to come. But if I go, I am able to press certain figures, certain digits, and I'm able to generate my tickets. That's a simpler way. So the machine will be doing what ordinarily a human being would do. And as I have indicated, AI falls majorly on data and information because it processes the information you give it and then it's able to produce a result for you. And maybe I'll also add that it has this functionality what we call machine learning. It's a bit technical, but I think I'll be able to explain it as machine learning how to perform the tasks human being would do. So the human brain has certain neurons that's able to communicate so that if I say I'm feeling sleepy, my brain will communicate. The body is tired, it will communicate to the brain. I'm feeling sleepy. So my body will start responding to it. I know I have to go to bed. It's the same thing. Anytime you feed information to a machine, it studies it over time. It's not human being. Human being is like real time. We're able to do it. But for artificial intelligence, it's going to take its time to learn the processes. So it's like, okay, so every time Cecilia maybe goes to Google, she's looking for this kind of information. So over time, we see that Cecilia is interested in this particular thing. So anytime I go to Google, there's a pop-up on my screen. Maybe I'm looking for information on artificial intelligence, my research. So every time I go to Google and there's a pop-up, there's something on maybe a suggestion on artificial intelligence, how to maybe the new trend, something like that. Because it's something I've actually realized that Google has this feed it provides, and most of them are tailored to the things that I ordinarily research on. It's not that there's nothing happening in the world, but it has studied a certain pattern and it's able to give me the information I need. So, yes, AI feeds on information, and so long as we feed data, it's able to analyze and then, process everything. Then it can come out like ordinarily, this is what you do, so this is the outcome you give to you.
So, with the explanation you gave me a good again example of how AI can be deployed in bus ticketing, and I'm using that for purposes of illustration and easy understanding. So, where a device or a software does issuing of ticketing, it knows the volume of demand at a particular point in time in a year.
Yes.
You understand? So it can offer you information on the management of a bus fleet, so that at a point in time, let's say in a festive season, it knows there'll be demand for tickets. People will be traveling and doing a lot of transactions and ferrying goods in and out of the capital. So it will provide you information on the time you should offer more buses at the disposal of passengers, and the time you should also increase your staff to meet such demand. Would that be a perfect illustration of machine learning?
Yes. So one key function of machine learning is predictability, its ability to make predictions, because it's sort of, yeah, it's a learning process. It studies you, it looks at the pattern and says, okay, this is how. So there's something called algorithm. So that's like the technology it runs on, the process of, I mean, continuously studying a pattern and then generating the information. So the algorithm would just build up and say, for so long, this is the data we have been able to gather. And every time we gather this data, this is the outcome. So I'm able to make a prediction. So that if there are 100 people who board the STC bus to Kumasi every day, the algorithm would say, okay, then on a regular, on an average, within a week, you should have about 700 people going to Kumasi. Maybe it's Easter, people will travel. They want to go and then, I mean, have fun and all that. It can predict, it can project. We have this number of people traveling at this time. But then for this season, last year, because there was so much people, we can predict that our revenue generation is going to increase or is going to grow or multiply to that. So a key functionality of machine learning is predictability. And it's something that I think everybody wants to know, because businesses exist to make profits.
Exactly.
And you would want to know that how much am I going to make, so that you can allocate your budget necessarily. Yes.
Awesome. So I take a pastor of a local church
Okay.
as a representative of the ordinary Ghanaian, or let me take, because pastors are hallowed, I'm certain parts of this country, so let me take an ordinary church member,
Okay.
a congregant. What in the world should matter about AI for that person?
That's a very good question. So AI is like, we find AI, no, it might seem like abstract and so far like very remote, but AI is gradually being integrated into our lives. And we find it in all like sectors, especially in the finance sector. There's this whole craze about financial technology. I mean, everybody wants to get into financial technology. We are all benefiting from the products, the solutions of financial technology. And I'm going to start with the mobile money services. It's not built in vacuum. It's not that they just design the software and then you get things running. They design their, maybe let me call the APIs, it's a technical word, but their application user
Interface.
application program interface is developed using all these algorithms and machine learning things to design the platform so that I am able to send information. MTN is able to predict that, okay, every time people are sending. So there was this thing about MTN having a collaboration with Vodafone on interoperability, where now you can buy airtime from MTN to a Vodafone network and even send money from your MTN mobile wallet to your Vodafone cash account. And it was based on the number of transactions that people were making and the attempts people were making with like doing tokens. Because that's what we used to do. You generate a token, and then if it's not from MTN to MTN, you generate a token. So the machine was able to study to say that this is something people are interested in and they are minded to do. So they looked at it and then they designed a framework to be able to capture everyone. And even for our mobile devices, the things that you are able to do with your phone. Sometimes we have Siri, we have Alexa. So long as you have a smartphone, there is AI embedded in everything that you do. Hey Siri, call mommy. Hey Alexa, do something. Google Assistant will tell you. Also, there was this day, I think back in uni, Google Assistant gave me my schedule for the day, and I was so surprised because I had actually planned it in my mind. It was a Val's Day that I was going to go out with my friends. And then I predicted that by 8:30 in the evening, I'm going to go out on a date with my friends. I'm like, how were you reading my mind? No, it was actually getting the information from my calendar. So it's like, so long as you have a smartphone, you have data, yes, internet bundle, and you feed information, you are experiencing artificial intelligence.
Interesting. I think that's a real life illustration and explanation of why AI should matter to the ordinary person.
And even to add, in the medical sector, I think most of our hospitals and even these very contemporary, sophisticated medical centers have started adopting AI tools. So I know there is this dental clinic, Sunrisa, that really employs artificial intelligence so that if you go and then we have to be checking your blood or be pumping. They have something that does that. So they take your blood sample, they run it through certain machines. They're like, okay, this is what is happening to you. So I think the impact of AI, yes, personally we are seeing it in terms of finance, but then in other sectors such as the health, we are seeing it as well. And even if you're a supplier, you can implement artificial intelligence because it automates processes for you. If you, well, this may not sound very nice to people who are looking for jobs, but yes, we can't deny it. It has come to stay. Something like customer service, you have to call and they'll tell you the customer service representative is on a call. But because now we have AI bots or chat bots inbuilt in our mobile applications and our bank apps, you go there and then so for me, I am with UBA and the bot is called Leo. The moment I say hi Leo, he gives me options. What do you want to do? And based on the information, he gives me what I need. If I'm unable to, then I have to progress to a human being. But if he's able to solve it for me at the first level, I don't need to speak to a human being.
Interesting.